The Harlem School Board faces a budget deficit of $3.1 million. Members weigh a proposal to close schools and make major cuts to some programs. This includes early childhood education. Harlem School District Superintendent Terrell Yarbrough and administrators offer a plan they say addresses an unfortunate financial situation, but could also allow for better collaboration and specialization. Under the proposal, the district would close Maple and Olson elementary schools and move those students to one of the remaining buildings. All schools would then split into two bands, as district leaders call it, East and West. As a result, from the change, Harlem's early childhood program would be reduced from 360 seats to just 80, with a focus placed on students with the highest needs. At least 30 positions would also be cut.
The decision is nothing to do with our educational philosophies in regards to early childhood. We value our early childhood educators and their services. This strictly comes down to our financial realities right now. And with our realities, we can't continue with what we are currently doing.
The Harlem Federation for Teachers Union Local 540 president releases a statement after the district's announcement. We understand that Dr. Yarbrough and district administrators are facing real financial challenges in a difficult and uncertain political climate. Still, it is frustrating and disheartening to see multiple school closures as the solution. Children should not have their educational experience turned upside down, and families deserve more investment in our public schools, not less. A series of public hearings will be held starting in December about the proposal to collect community feedback. A decision from the school board on whether to move forward with the school closings is expected December 15th. If you want to read the district's plan entirely, you can find a link to that on our website, WIFR.com. To learn the latest on this story and other big ones from around the state line, make sure to download our streaming apps on platforms including Roku and Fire TV. Just search WIFR. We're also streaming on our news app and social media.